We're also grateful for our partnership with Family Community Engagement, and we're excited to have the Board of Education candidates with us this evening. As we gather here, I want to emphasize the importance of parental involvement in our schools. Your participation is a vital asset to your child's education and to the success of our schools. We warmly encourage all parents to join the PTO and get involved in many ways you can contribute. Additionally, I'd like to inform you that we have open positions on our PTO executive board. We're holding elections this coming week, and we also welcome anyone interested in taking on the leadership role. Please note that you must be a PTO member to participate in the elections. And we encourage you to get involved and make a difference. Thank you all for being here tonight, and let's work together to support our students and schools.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rosie Grant, and I'm the Executive Director of Paterson Education Fund. Paterson Education Fund is a nonprofit, community-based organization that's been in Paterson for 42 years now, and our role is to engage the community in the improvement of Paterson Public Schools. So we work with the schools, the students, the educators, and the parents and community members. It is our pleasure to collaborate with the PTO to bring you this school board's candidate election forum. We think it's very important that those who have a vote do vote and that you make an educated vote. So we have brought along our candidates guide. We're pleased to say all the candidates participated in the guide this year. Some had late entries, and so you will see the printed copy tonight does not have all the information, but we will ensure that we post a full version online over the next couple of days. So with that, we want to walk you through the proceedings of this evening. First, I want to thank the candidates for being here. Give them a hand. And thank you for being willing to give your time to serve the students of Paterson Public Schools.
The purpose of tonight's event is to inform and empower parents and students through civic education and candidate engagement. We'd like to thank, of course, the parents and the community members for coming here tonight.
We are at the John F. Kennedy High School TV studio, recording studio, and I want to thank the educator, Mr. Solis, and the students that worked to set up tonight so much for your efforts.
We'd like to also inform you that the Passaic County Board of Elections for voting information we have a QR code is on your handouts.
And then our final thank you for now, notwithstanding our moderators, who we'll introduce in a minute, is to the Family and Community Engagement Department of Paterson Public Schools. It's a pleasure to work with you to have this informational forum year after year. Thank you. So I would like to walk you through our rules and procedures briefly. As you see, we have closed the door. We had initially said no entry, but we will allow people to enter quietly. If you do have a cell phone on you, please silence it, not vibrate, because it will be picked up in the recording. We don't mind if you watch it, but do silence it and walk outside before you say hello. Please be respectful of the events and all the participants. Maintain a courteous and attentive atmosphere throughout. I encourage the candidates to also be respectful. Do not yell out, interrupt, or disrupt the recording. We hope not to have to remove anyone from the venue, but that's a part of the rules and regulation if people cannot abide by what we have outlined here. This is nonpartisan. We do not endorse any candidate. This is a community service so that those present this evening and others throughout the community who will be watching this recording will know what the candidates are standing for, why they're running, and what they hope to do during the term of their service should they be elected. This is being live streamed, and we will also post a recording on the Paterson Education Fund website and the PTO Facebook page as early as tomorrow.
We'd like to take this time now to introduce the moderators. We have first Dr. Melissa Baralt, and we also have Mr. George Soriano.
Let's give him a hand.
Good evening to all. I am Dr. Melissa Baralt, known as Dr. B, and I am here to spice this moderation up because we are excited, as we should be, and I want to make the most out of today so that everybody knows about our wonderful candidates, incumbent and new, and that you are informed as to who they are and what their plans are for our city, as we are all invested in the work of what is in front of us. I am honored to be joined by George. You said George Gamaliel Soriano. And
I love the doctor. That's thanks to my president right here. I've been gone so long she forgot my first name. So G.E. Soriano.
there you go.
For everybody, it's an honor and a privilege to be here with everybody, and especially by the doctor. I've watched this lady, and we're here.
We're here.
Thank the candidates.
So I want to thank everyone for coming, and I want to thank everybody at home watching. We are going to do a great job. I would like to first introduce each of the candidates that are present with us by name, and later we will progress to the first question. So if you will permit me, I'd like to introduce Commissioner Ms. Valerie Freeman. He is Mr. Christopher Smalls. She is Miss Cameo Black. And he is Mr. Alexander Mendez. So now that we know their names and we know where they're sitting, this is non-descriptive of their ballot positions. We are going to start. I would like each candidate to take 2 minutes, and we have someone that is timing right in the front. Wave, beautiful lady. She will be timing you so that we are fair and we are equitable with everyone's time and response, and we give love to everybody on their plate. I would like you to tell me something about yourself, why you're running, and what are your community and Paterson Public Schools contributions and accomplishments. So why you're running, who you are, and what are your accomplishments. And I would like to start with Commissioner Valerie Freeman, if you please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Commissioner Valerie Freeman. The why to why I'm running is I've been involved with the Paterson Board of Education for over 30 years. Since I had to bring my children into the public school setting, I had to get involved in what was then called the Homeschool Council. And I also worked for the district, so I knew the things that the district was lacking. I knew the things that they needed, and the only way that we can change things as parents is to get involved, and that's what I did. During my involvement, I attended many different conferences throughout this country, parent conference, where they taught us how to read a budget, how to advocate for our children, the things to say when you're in a meeting with the superintendent, principal, teacher, or whoever. They taught us to follow the money. That is one of my biggest things, because when you follow the money, you see where the money is going and what it's being used for, what's wasteful, and what that's it. Oh, and what's wasteful and where the money needs to go. So with that said, I'm also sit on the Paterson Community Health Center's Board of Trustees. I am also a member of the Paterson Cares Incorporated, which is an organization that we help the homeless and the less fortunate. I also, am a part of the American Cancer Society, where I go throughout the country, wherever they need me to speak, that's where I go and speak. As a 15-year cancer survivor, it's my duty to do those things. Okay, I can't see all the way over there, but it's my duty to encourage people, give advice on breast cancer and the importance of early detection and women getting their mammograms. And also for men are not excluded from breast cancer. It's important that anything you see that's different on your body, you go check it out. I'm a community activist. I've been involved with the Stop the Violence marches. Every month we used to meet to try to curb down the gun violence in Paterson. So I'm well known in the community and very, very active. And I love this city. I love this city. I am who I am. And I can't change who I am because then I won't be who I am. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. That was great. Joining us recently is Commissioner Della McCall, who I will give time to settle, so we will move to the next candidate. But just so you know, Ms. Della, we are asking 2 minutes. Tell me about yourself, why you are running, and what are your community and Paterson Public Schools contributions or accomplishments. So if you permit, I would like Mr. Christopher Smalls to answer so that you can gather yourself. You just got here, so thank you. Mr. Smalls, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, well, thank you once again for having me. Appreciate being here. My name is Christopher Small. That's Small with no S. I had to make that clear because my mother would kill me because she doesn't like it when that's said. So I just wanted to clear that up for you, Ma. But why am I running? I'm running because I care. I care about the Paterson children. I care about their education. I care about their well-being, and I care about their future. I care about their families, their parents, grandparents, and guardians, and I really want to help them out because help is needed in so many different ways. As you know, Paterson, we're home to many different cultures, many different languages, and many different issues as far as being economically disadvantaged. And the times are hard and they're only getting harder. So I want to be there to help and provide as much support as possible, something I've been doing and something I want to continue doing. And when I say something I've been doing, I'm an educator, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, I'm an accountant, and an advocate. And when I say educator, I mean a lifelong educator. This is something I've been doing since the early 2000s, since I've been in college, as a counselor at after-school programs and summer programs, from Friendship Corner to Paterson Recreation. And after graduating from college, I came back home and began coaching at my alma mater, Paterson Catholic. I coached there for 5 years, and within those 5 years, we won 4 state championships. So I was able to help plenty players go on to earn college scholarships and just to get enrolled in college. I've helped them with FAFSA and financial aid, to helping them with increasing their GPAs and their SAT scores. So I poured into my players, I poured into my students, just as my coaches, my teachers poured into me. And I want to pour into more students by being a Paterson Board of Ed commissioner, so I could also help students and teachers, being that I was one myself, and I understand the challenges and the difficulties that we face. So I'm not sure how much time I have left, so I'm just going to wrap it up by saying I'm also an accountant, so I can help with some of the fiscal responsibilities that are needed in the city with the upcoming budget cuts. And thank you again for the time.
Thank you, Mr. Smalls. And to the same respect, Ms. Camille Black, your answer, please. You have 2 minutes.
Good evening. I'm running because, for one, I'm not a politician. I am a parent that needs to fight for every kid, no matter race or whatever. There's no transparency with the superintendent and nobody else. There's a lot of things that's being swept under the rug that needs to be brought to the surface. A lot of people tell me don't say it, but as y'all can see, this Board of Education is being ran by the city, which is disgusting and horrible. And like Val said, it's time to follow the money. Everybody is in cahoots with together, is not in best interest of the kids at all. I fight. I've been an advocate for over 10 years. I've been banned from meetings for speaking up for my own kid. If you can't advocate for your own kid, who will be your kid advocacy? A lot is no open door policy where you can sit and speak to the superintendent. Why is that? As a parent, you should be able to walk into the schools and see what's going on with your kid, the bullying. It's just a whole bunch. And I have plans to do a lot with this Board of Education. And that's all I have to say. Like, enough is enough.
Thank you, Ms. Black. Mr. Alexander Mendez, same question. You have 2 minutes.
All right. First and foremost, good evening. My name is Alex Mendez Jr. Paterson. I will be 2E on the ballot as candidate for Commissioner of the Paterson Board of Education. Just a little bit about myself. I'm born and raised in Paterson. I'm a product of Paterson Public Schools, graduate of International High School. I'm a college graduate. I went on to study at William Paterson University with communications and a minor in business administration. I was honestly, my why is because of the things that I saw within the school system. I saw many issues with our curriculum. I saw students falling behind, falling through the cracks. I have two personal friends of mine that were lost due to gun violence and two others who were lost to suicide. And it pains me to say that, but it also pains me that our students don't have adequate safety, that they don't have adequate mental health resources. I want to be a voice for the voiceless. I want to ensure that our students have a quality education, bring up the test scores. I want to ensure that parents have an advocate and transparency on the board, accountability on the board. And so that's my primary reason why I'm running. I just want to be a voice for everybody who feels as though they don't have one. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mendez. I'd like to now go to our second commissioner who has joined us. She is Commissioner Della McCall. Same question. You have 2 minutes. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to all that have put this together to give our community an opportunity to get to know the candidates. Please forgive my attire, but if you know anything about me, I'm strictly grassroots. And so being in the streets today, making sure knocking on doors, talking to individuals, this is what you get.
Yep.
Why am I doing this? Well, I've been doing it for 3 years, and I think that we thought we were making stride, but I think that now I can personally say that I have a better understanding and I have a very deep commitment to our children. Our children are always and should always be first. And if you know anything about me, you know that I am not brought. I am not with a price. I do as I feel, as my heart shows me, because I follow the lead of the people, because it is the people who have put me in this position. Our children deserve what every other district around this state gets to receive. And for that, I am dedicated and I am going to be committed to make sure that we increase our reading scores, that we encourage our parents to be more involved, and that we get a physical budget that makes sense, that we will begin to look at the numbers. And I'm hoping that on November 4th, those of you that have not already voted, that you would consider me on the ballot. I am E4, and I am there because I care about our children. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Commissioner McCall. We'd now like to hear remarks from Sumada Ramadan. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
All right. Sumada Ramadan, you have 2 minutes to tell us about yourself, why you are running, and what are your community and Paterson Public School contributions or accomplishments.
Yes.
You have 2 minutes to respond.
How are you guys? I'm sorry for showing up late. My name is Sumaida Ramadan. I want to start off by saying I'm not a politician. I'm an uncle of 14. I'm a son. I'm a brother. And I was born and raised. I'm a product of Paterson. Paterson, New Jersey has been very important for me and my family. My father owns a few businesses, and I've seen the struggles from going from school to school. There's been many changes, not for the better, for the worse. And I'm hoping, to make the slightest bit of a difference for our students here in Paterson, New Jersey. So I'm reaching out to all the parents, hopefully to help me out so I can help you guys out. And that's why I'm running. 7E on your ballots, Sumaida Ramadan. Thank you.
Thank you for your response. Okay, Commissioner Eddie Gonzalez has just joined us, and I want to make sure that I give him the opportunity. Everyone had a welcome, and I want to make sure that you have that same opportunity. Welcome, Commissioner Eddie Gonzalez. And the question is, you have 2 minutes to respond. And the question is, tell us about yourself, why you are running, and what are your community and Paterson Public Schools contributions and accomplishments. You have 2 minutes to respond, Commissioner.
All right, thank you. So sorry for my tardiness. I was at a committee meeting, fiscal committee that just ended. I currently serve on the Paterson Board of Education. This is my second term. I served back in 2009 as well. I returned 3 years ago, and I am the president this year of the Paterson Board of Education. What I've done for the Paterson School District, not just within the last 3 years, but for my full period of the last 20 years, is working with many high school youth individuals through my full-time job. I've run the Paterson Youth Council, which is a leadership program for high school kids. Been doing that for nearly 18 years now. Mentored over 250 kids, got kids into Ivy League schools, through Ivy League tours and other college tours. In addition to that, we host plenty different opportunities for jobs and career development. The vast amounts of things that we do for youth speaks for itself. On the board, really being attentive to the needs of the community, being attentive to what I think the school district needs to improve. We've been able to successfully have double-digit increases for the first time, both in middle school and high school. Double digits in high school, single digits in middle school, higher than the state's average. It's the first time. That's academic achievement. So we're proving that we're doing the things the right way. And I just want to serve to continue to do that and keep the momentum going. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Gonzalez. We have the answer and the introduction from all of the candidates and incumbents. And I'd just like to say that we are streaming live on YouTube, courtesy of the JFK Network. And we continue to thank all of the parents in the room, stakeholders, and everyone who is joining us today live as we stream this candidate forum. I am so excited to be here, and we are going to continue. I am going to introduce GE, who has a question for everyone. Okay, Mr. Soriano is one of the most important stakeholders, in my opinion, in the community, a grassroots mentor who has been heavily involved with the PTO. And so he has a question for all of the candidates, and we're going to go in order. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Burrell. We'd like to start with Commissioner Valerie Freeman. The question is, what is your understanding of the needs of Paterson Public Schools?
The most important thing, we need full parental involvement. To the parents out there, to the grandparents, to the aunts, and to the uncles, your participation and your consistent involvement will turn this district all the way around. You are in control. You must use your power. You must demand things, and we don't do that. The parents here in Paterson, you do not demand the things that your children deserve. It is your right. If your children leave this district, there is no district. Anything that you don't like, you need to speak up about it. Do not be afraid to let your voice be heard. You are in control, and that is where we lost it. Once the parents stop participating, stop coming to the board meetings, stop expressing the things that bother them and that they're not happy about, the district does what it wants. When you follow the money, you find out where the money goes. There's no reason why the charter schools are outperforming us with less money. That's something to think about. There's no, I can't make it make sense, but they're outperforming us. And they have a smaller budget. We have an $848 million budget. There's no reason why our children don't have the things that Fairlawn has, Prospect Park, Elmwood Park, Heldon. There's no reason why Nutley, Clifton, Passaic, you can go throughout the state of New Jersey. Our children should be able to compete with the surrounding areas, and they should be able to outperform them. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Freeman. Next, Commissioner Della McCall, same question. What is your understanding of the needs of Paterson Public Schools?
The needs of our Paterson Public School is to make sure that we give and provide a quality education for all of our students. That need is needed because they are going to be responsible for the future of the city, the state, and this United States. No matter where they end up, it's going to be the foundation that we give them here in Paterson that will make them better citizens and individuals. I want to piggyback a little bit off of what my colleague just said about the involvement of parents. But taxpayers, you pay into this, and you have just as much right to say and to come to these meetings and have things to say so that we are doing it according to your will and your purpose of paying your taxes. You have a say. So I invite you too to all of our meetings, not just parents, but all of those that are contributing in a financial way. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner McCall. Mr. Ramadan, what is your understanding of the needs of Paterson Public Schools?
So my understanding of the needs are simple. We need more teachers. We need more funding. I know there's a lot of students out there. Sorry about that. I know there's a lot of students struggling that need the help. And like was said, I don't want to sound like a broken record. Parents are not coming out. And I feel like parents should feel comfortable enough to come to speak up for their own children's needs. They need the help. The parents should say something. And us as Paterson, together we should stand united and help each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ramadan. Commissioner Gonzalez, what is your understanding of the needs of Paterson Public Schools?
So being on the board now, the need is great, and there's many. Obviously, some of the commissioners already said some of the greatest needs, which is parent involvement, which is critical, especially with the PTO getting involved. One of the things that we were able to do was actually partner with the PTO to start further discussions on bringing the PTO as a structure, not just parents, but as a structure within the school district, a stronger partnership with the PTO organization to make sure that every single school has a PTO, an active PTO. Through that structure, we would allow the opportunity for parents to really engage, not just at the board meeting, which parents are always welcome to come to the board, but you really start at the local schools. You address your issues at the very school. If you have an issue with the principal, a classroom, if you have an active PTO in your school, that's where you get a lot of support and a lot of additional services, in particular for parents, and not just to advocate, but also to benefit from leadership programs and trainings, so that they can themselves become more involved, more advocates for their children.
Thank you, Commissioner Gonzalez. Mr. Small, no S at the end, right?
No S.
Okay,
No S.
I remember that. What is your understanding of the needs of Paterson Public Schools?
There's so many needs, but I would say funding and family would be the two most important to me. And like my colleagues mentioned, following the money. So a lot of the needs, as far as the support and the resources that are needed, we need funding for. And as you know, the history of Paterson is being illegally underfunded for many, many years. So we're still playing catch up in a sense. So I think under the current circumstances with the politics of the country now, we have to brace ourselves for even more cuts and more reductions in funding. So I think we need someone that's going to fight for the kids and fight for the community when it comes to that. And like everyone up here has mentioned, we need to get the parents more involved. I think we need to take onus on the school board to become more engaging, making it easier for them to attend meetings, whether it be hybrid or whether it be changing of the times, just making it more accessible for parents to have access to the information. Because before they can make a decision or make a choice, they need to be informed. And I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, so that leads to the confusion and the kind of contention between parents and teachers and administration. So I think that's something that needs to be addressed.
Thank you, Mr. Small. Ms. Black, what is your understanding of the needs of Paterson Public Schools?
First, these kids need more love and attention. Just by putting washing machines and stuff in schools, that's not solving the problem. People, we need to sit down, actually talk to these kids. Me personally, I came from the trenches, so I speak to these kids every day. I know what they need. Some kids are not getting home cooked meals. It's bigger than just washing clothes. The teachers, they're underfunded. They definitely need money. And it's just, it's so much that I want to say, but I only have a little bit of time to say it. But once again, I'm going to continue to say it's a lot of stuff at the training that they told us that we're not allowed to say, and a lot of lies that's being told to the parents. Me, I'm not one of the people that's going to ever lie to the parents. They might hit me with ethical charges, but me, I will always be 100% real with the parents and the kids. That's what we need, more real and honest people.
Thank you, Ms. Black. Mr. Martinez, what is your understanding of the needs of Paterson? I'm sorry, Mr. Mendez. I apologize deeply. Mr. Mendez, because we don't want senior over there to, you know, Mr. Mendez. Sorry, Councilman. Mr. Mendez, what is your understanding of the needs of Paterson Public Schools?
Yeah, well, my understanding of the needs the Paterson Public Schools have stemmed from my time in the Paterson Public School system. And over these last 3 or 4 months, talking to parents from all over the city, frequenting businesses, and seeing that a lot of those same issues prevail and they still remain. So, I mean, number one, we need to increase test scores. We need to increase college readiness because at the end of the day, we are playing catch up with the state. We're still well below state averages, and I think that that's something we need to continue working at. We need to increase parental involvement to see different perspectives because as board members, we may not be able to see every corner or every perspective, and we're often made aware of issues from the parents. And so parental involvement and also after school programs, that's a big one. Parents get off at 5, kids get off at 3, and so we need to partner with our PTOs and see what we can do in order to implement more of those and support our kids. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mendez. With that, I would like to pass back the questions to Dr. Baralt.
All right. So we've heard of your understanding of the needs, and we understand that this is based on assessments that already are in play. And a lot of you hit a lot of key points. The next question is, what is the difference between governance and administration? And how does this play out in the board superintendent relationship, if you will? Commissioner Freeman.
Governance is what the board members should be doing. We should govern what's going on in the district. Operations is the superintendent's job. She is in charge of hiring. She's in charge of firing. She's in charge of making sure we have the correct principals, correct teachers in the right position. When we overstep our boundaries as board members and try to run the district operations, we have violated ethics rules. And it's important that we remember that because you so easily can get caught up in it. We can't tell her who to hire. We can't tell her who to fire. We can't do that. The only person that we are in charge of is the superintendent. We are her boss. We can't control what teacher goes to MLK, what teacher goes to Al Moody School, what teacher goes to the new Roberto Clemente. That's not our place. Our place is to govern, create policy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Freeman. Please finish.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's our job to create policies and to make sure things are done fair across the board. Operations is not our thing. It's totally up to the superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Freeman. And on to Commissioner McCall. So, what is the difference between governance and administration, and how does this play out in the board superintendent relationship? You have 2 minutes to respond. Thank you.
Well, I want to start with administration. Administration is the day-to-day operations of the Board of Education. And that's simply said, that means anything that controls the day-to-day operations of the Board of Education is the responsibility of the administration. Now, governance is when we make policy, we overlook the budget, we listen to the recommendations of the superintendent. Those are the things that we are in charge of. Simply said, we have one employee as a board, and that employee is the superintendent. She reports back to us. It is not our job to interfere with any day-to-day operations. And when things like that come to us, because many of us are community community bound. It is our responsibility to give it back to the one employee we have, and that is the superintendent of the Board of Education.
Thank you kindly, Commissioner McCall. Mr. Ramadan, and I'd like to rectify, you have 1 minute for this series of questions. Yeah, but that was okay. She's timing you, so everybody got the same amount of time.
I thought I was doing a whole lot.
You did, no, you did great. Everybody's doing wonderful, and I'd like to commend you because you're all following the time requirements. So thank you so much. Mr. Ramadan, what is the difference between governance and administration? And how does this play out in the board superintendent relationship? Mr. Ramadan, you have 1 minute. Thank you.
So, like I said earlier, I'm not a politician, so I can't answer that question fully. I've never been on the board before, but I'm hoping to get a seat on the board and grow and learn. I'm still young. I want to work together. Hopefully, I could learn from everybody and we just work together and make a difference. Hopefully. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ramadan. Very honest answer. Okay. Commissioner Gonzalez, what is the difference between governance and administration, and how does this play out in the board superintendent relationship? You have 1 minute to respond. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, just quickly, a lot of the stuff has been addressed and is factual. The board sets the vision for the district. We set the vision for where we want to see the school district go. The administration's job is to figure out the strategies in how we get there. Right, that's the difference. We set the vision. We want to reach these major goals, and we just accomplished that in the last board meeting. We set the three major goals that the school administrator, who's the superintendent, is charged with, and it's her job with her team to put the strategies and objectives to get the goals done. That's really the primary thing. Being that I have 30 seconds, I just want to take the time to thank the PTO leadership and PEF for putting this together. I think this is great, and you do a great job every year. Thank you.
Mr. Small, same question.
Do you mind repeating the question?
I will.
Thank you.
Mr. Small,
Appreciate it.
what is the difference between governance and administration? And how does this play out in the board superintendent relationship? You have 1 minute to respond. Thank you, Mr. Small.
Yes. Governance and administration. Well, when I hear those two words, I think administration, I think the superintendent. I think that's her job to kind of oversee all the positions and roles that fall under the school district, from principals to assistant principals and so on and so forth. And I think governments, I think of the school board. I think basically programs, policy, and personnel. When you're talking about personnel, that goes to the superintendent, as we're responsible for choosing and selecting the superintendent. A very important decision to make. But also outside of that, we're the ones that set the policies and the programs that will be installed or instilled inside the school district. And most importantly, we oversee the budget. And we're talking about an $848 million budget. So I think we all agree that's a lot of money. So that's a big responsibility. So those are the things that I think of when I think of the school board and governance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Small. Ms. Cameo Black, what is the difference between governance and administration? And how does this play out in the board superintendent relationship? You have 1 minute to respond. Thank you.
It plays out to me. It really doesn't, because a lot of the stuff that be voted on is not all the way across the board. It's certain people that is allowed to vote, and it should put, even though they say majority, half of the stuff that people vote on, the other commissioners don't even know. They make a lot of backdoor deals. So the administration govern, it's just like I keep telling y'all, this is why I'm running. So because I'm so frustrated. It's so much that goes on. That's why I need to get on the board, because it's too much. It's a lot of backdoor deals and everything else. And it's just like I keep saying over and over, it's disgusting. And it's not in the best interest of our kids at all. And without our kids, it would not be going on. Nobody won't have a job. We have to stand up for our kids, parents, as y'all watching also.
Thank you, Ms. Black. Mr. Alexander Mendez, what is the difference between governance and administration, and how does this play out in the board superintendent relationship? You have 1 minute to respond. Thank you.
Okay, from my understanding, I believe governance has more so to do with legislation and allocation. Like some of my colleagues said before, we do have an $848 million budget that we're responsible for allocating, and with administration, that goes into day-to-day operations, and I think that she's the vehicle to get us there to accomplish our vision. I think that as far as the board and the superintendent, we need to work hand in hand with one another to ensure equitable education outcomes for the children of Paterson. So that's my answer.
We are doing great, and I just want to take a minute to give one of the parents in the audience questions, because she gave us a question, and I want Mr. GE to read out her question. She is a concerned parent that has joined us, and I want to be fair and equitable for her time because she has come to join us and she's vested in this forum. So I would like Mr. GE to please read her concern, and so each commissioner, please, commissioner or commissioner to be, to answer the question as they see fit.
Thank you, Dr. Commissioner Freeman. What is the board doing to answer requests from concerned parents?
When you say requests, are you talking about emails or phone calls?
Both.
Both.
In this particular case, the parent complained about an email that she sent on October 16th, for example, and it was not answered. She wants to know, are you guys aware? What is the board actually actively doing to help out? And in person.
Okay. When you email the superintendent, I'm assuming that you're talking about the superintendent. When you email the superintendent, we don't know that you emailed the superintendent unless you email every board member. The only way that we'll know is if you include us in the email. We're not privy to the parents that email her. We don't know what the email pertains to. So the communication piece, I understand. I understand your frustration, and it shouldn't be. If a parent sends an email to the superintendent, it should be answered immediately. No parent should not get a phone call, not get a response. When you want a response, include the board members in that email. Please. I implore you to do it, because that's the only way that we will know what your frustrations are. Because if you send it to her, it's not her job to send it to us, and sometimes she just won't. Sometimes we'll know, and sometimes we won't. I implore you to add the board members to those emails.
So we have one solution from Commissioner Freeman. Thank you. Commissioner McCall, what is your answer to address this concern of a parent?
Well, first of all, I want to apologize that you had to endure that, because that is not how we as the government expect our one employee to respond to our parents. So please give me that moment to apologize. I have to agree with my colleague that we don't know. When complaints come to the superintendent, it's really not her job to give them to us. But if you come to our parent meetings and you make your voice known, then we become privy to know. And in my 30 seconds, I'm going to reiterate, please email us. My email is delmccall67@gmail.com. And that is to anyone that is under the privy of my voice. Whether you're here or you're watching, you always have access to me. When you give me something that is out of my privy, I am going to forward it to the superintendent. And I'm going to ask her to please follow up with me on what that outcome has come. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner McCall. With that, next question to Mr. Ramadan. What is the board doing to answer requests from concerned parents? What would be your solution?
Okay, once again, it's an answer, it's a question that's difficult for me to answer because I'm not on the board. But it is a good question because I am here running for that reason. I've seen family members, I've seen friends, I've seen children struggle. And parents come out, parents email, they call, and get no answer. So that's a good question because that's one of the reasons why I am running for a seat on the board. So I can hopefully make a difference and reach out to the parents and students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramadan. Commissioner Gonzalez, same question to you. What is the board doing to answer requests from from concerned parents?
Well, first, I also apologize because we did not get whatever that specific. You said October 16th, so we didn't get as board members those inquiries. However, what I will say in general is that the superintendents has a cabinet, a team of members who work in different departments. So depending on the request, depending on what the issue is, if it's a curriculum issue, if it's a facility issue, it depends what it is, that the superintendent is supposed to pass that on to her staff, and the staff member is supposed to get back to you. So I'm not sure what that is, but I do have a solution. Let's talk right after this, and I'll make sure that I'll help you out.
Thank you, Commissioner Gonzalez. Mr. Small, same question. What is the board doing to answer requests from concerned parents? What would be your solution?
Yes, I'm not sure what the board is doing, but I know since I've been on the campaign trail, I've spoken to many parents and they've had plenty of complaints and plenty of concerns. So I think we should start with contact information. They should have the contact information for everyone on the board, including the superintendent, so they can send those emails not only to her, but to others as well. But I think it starts with a conversation, because that's a lot of conversations have been had with a lot of parents and they have a lot of concerns. So I think it starts there, because sometimes they just need to share and express the feelings and the frustrations that they have. And then we can continue the communication from there and then work to find a resolution. Because there's so many different problems that range from everything from special education to bullying, harassment, intimidation. So there's plenty of conversations to be had. So I say open the lines of communication and then start from there and find a resolution. But I think contact information, having our contact information and then exchanging contact information with the parents so we could have that conversation and talk and figure out how to come up with the answer to the problem.
Thank you, Mr. Smalls. Ms. Black, what is the board doing to answer requests from concerned parents? What would be your solution?
Well, my solution is I'm going to start off by saying I was a parent that went and spoke up for my kid. The Board of Education didn't do anything besides being me, like I said. And also the solution that we need to come up with, the superintendent, she needs to be more transparent. It is procedures that you're supposed to go through. You're supposed to go through the commissioners. Is a protocol that you have to follow. But at the end of the road, when the superintendent don't reach back out to you, you can always reach out to 401, the superintendent office on River Street. They don't give y'all a lot of information, but you can reach out to me. And remember 6E, and it is what it is. It's too much. And just call.
Thank you, Ms. Black. Mr. Mendez, what is the board doing to answer requests from concerned parents? What would be your solution?
Okay. Well, I have yet to understand the chain of command, and that's something that I have yet to learn. But one thing that I could speak to as far as being a concerned parent is understanding that multiple methods of communication is essential. And so we as board members need to ensure that we are visible, that we are out in the public, and that we have multiple modes of communication so that if an issue needs to be deferred to the superintendent, that we could do so in an orderly manner. And if we don't know the answer to something, or the superintendent doesn't know the answer to something, make sure that we refer you to somebody that does. So that's a solution that I would implement on the board. Yes.
Thank you. And with that, we have come to our closing remarks, and I want to give you time to think about your closing remark. But in the closing remarks, I'm going to challenge that even further because you know I teach. With your closing remarks, what are your issues or priorities that drive your candidacy? If you had to nail it to your 3 top issues, close with giving us what that is and your position on the ballot for everyone watching at home. 2 minutes each, I've been told by the boss. 2 minutes each. What issues or priorities drive your candidacy in your closing remark? You have 2 minutes each. We are going to start with Commissioner Freeman. Thank you.
Being a community activist, what drives me is parental involvement. It's always going to be the number one thing for me, because going to different conferences, I was taught the importance of parental involvement. When your child sees that you are concerned and you go and you ask those questions, it makes them feel better. to see you. Okay, this is happening. I'm at the PTO meeting. I'm here. You have to understand your power, parents. I'm never going to stop advocating for the parents, telling them the power that you hold. I will never stop doing it because it taught me to be who I am to this very day. I will never stop fighting for the children, fighting for funding. I've done it in Trenton, went to the budget hearings. I was in there. I was in the trenches, hit the road running, but I never ran. My first term, 3 years ago, I woke up one morning and I said, enough is enough. State took over, they got control back. But what are you doing with the control? You're doing the same thing that you did when the state took over. So where are we going? We have to want better for our children. We have to be able to hire and maintain quality teachers. We're losing teachers by the numbers, great teachers because of petty nonsense. And I'm going to say it because of petty nonsense. We're losing teachers by the numbers. The reading and math scores, they've increased. Yeah, we're going to have a party. They increased a little bit, but we can do better. The administration in this district gets paid big bucks. Big bucks. I expect better results. I expect you to hire teachers who are going to not only challenge our children, but want the best for them. And that's not to say that they don't want this, but I will never, ever stop telling the parents, you have and hold the power in this district. You can shut it down or you can continue to allow them to be mediocre with our children. I'm 1E on your ballot. Children over politics forever. I'm not in this for politics. I'm in this to make our children's lives in this community better. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Freeman. We will continue with the closing remarks from Commissioner Della McCall. What are your issues or priorities that drive your candidacy in your closing remarks? And you have 2 minutes, Commissioner. Thank you.
What drives me is that I had the opportunity, I want to say about 8 years ago, to go throughout the state working on a campaign, and I got to visit many districts. But what dissatisfied me was that those districts didn't look like the district that I knew here in the city of Paterson. So what drives me is to believe that what I saw out there 8 years ago, I believe Paterson can have. And that is the best quality education for our children. Our buildings need to be revamped. And we allow, year after year, we allow the state to tell us, figure it out. But I believe that my candidacy can make a difference. So that's going to be one of my targets this time, is that I'm going to fight real hard to make sure that we get some new buildings. Because when you go in other districts, their buildings don't look like ours. And even if their buildings are older, they're well taken care of. So I feel that we deserve what every other district in this state gets, and I'm going to put a big voice out there on it. We got to make a commitment to our staff. We are always understaffed. Why? We don't treat them right. They go other places and get opportunities that we don't give them. They make more money when they leave our districts to smaller districts. We've got to figure out a way, how do we work together with our staff, our parents, and our students? And in my last 30 seconds, parents, we need you. I can have a great force of thinking or advocating, but without you, it doesn't make a difference. You have the right to either make us do better, allow us to do what we're doing, or demand what your children deserve here in the city of Paterson. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Commissioner McCall. That was great. Again, to that respect, Mr. Ramadan, in your closing remarks, what issues or priorities drive your candidacy? You have 2 minutes to respond.
So the biggest issue that drives me to run for Board of Education, I was born and raised in Paterson, and we are a quickly growing Muslim community. And for me to know that I have my niece still going to school getting bullied because of wearing a headscarf is insane. and no difference, no help from anybody on the board. I have 14 nephews and nieces. I hear 14 kids talking about problems. Imagine the rest of the students in Paterson. We're talking thousands and thousands of students. I'm only talking about 14. 14 students that pushed me to run and try to make a difference. And hopefully I do get a seat and see into that difference and help not only the 14, because 5 of them have successfully graduated. 5. And I still have more coming on the way. I want to make a difference. I want to help. We need to change something with safety in Paterson, because like I keep saying and I say, we have our students fighting to go to PCTI, to go to Wayne Hills, to get out of Paterson. They don't want to come to Kennedy. They don't want to go to East Side, and we need to make a difference. We have to make that change now before it's too late, before we close down all our high schools. We don't want to be in last place. Paterson should not be in last place. As a growing community, we should work together and hopefully make a big, big difference. I have 30 seconds left, so I just want to say my name is Sumaida Ramadan. 70 on your ballots. I hope you guys go out and vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ramadan. Commissioner Gonzalez, we will continue with you. Your closing remarks. What are your issues, priorities that drive your candidacy? You have 2 minutes. Thank you, Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you for the question. And once again, before I close, I just want to thank everyone for putting this together. The three main issues, which are very critical, and you probably wouldn't hear it from folks who are not aware of these issues. But NJ is a scoring method that the state does every 5 years of our school district, and we're going into that now. And basically, New Jersey, they have a quality assessment of 5 different areas in our district. It's governance, overseeing governance, the fiscal, personnel, instruction, and policy. Each of these areas are graded. And if we don't get 80% score or higher, the state can give us a monitor, which can lead to state control. We just got out of state control. We don't want to go back to state control. And what I say is that we need to focus on these, and this is part of the goals that we set for the school district, to make sure that each department is doing all that they can to make sure that they're prepared for the audit. And that's very important, because if we get state control, we no longer have the board has no say in what happens in those respective areas, is what the state says. So whatever parents say, whatever community members say, it doesn't matter. It's what the state says, which has been happening for a very long time. And since we've gotten state control back, we've done great this year. For the first time since we got state control back, we had the lowest taxes raised in the school district. Before it was 10, 12, 14, 16%. There was only 4% this year, which is just to maintain with teachers' salary increases. The other thing is accountability. We have to hold everyone accountable, starting with our superintendent. We have to make sure teachers are supported. We make sure that the students are getting the services that they need. Holding people accountable is crucial. So we hold the superintendent accountable for holding those folks accountable. And what we did was refashion the accountability system in the district on how evaluation is done with teachers and also other staff members to make sure everyone's doing their part. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gonzalez. With that respect, Mr. Small, what are your closing statements and what issues or priorities drive your candidacy?
First and foremost, I'd just like to say thank you once again for putting this together and having us here. My name is Christopher Small, no S, and I'm not a politician. This is my first time running for elected office. I'm an educator, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, I'm an accountant, and I'm an advocate. Once again, I'm a lifelong educator, a Paterson public school teacher, a high school football coach, a tax accounting with my own small business downtown Paterson, and also an advocate. I'm an activist and a volunteer in charitable donations and so many other events that we've organized for the city. But I just want to focus on the students and the schools. And when I say the students, one of my biggest issues that I'm going to address as soon as I get on the board, if I happen to do so with your vote on November 4th, ballot 5E, is that we have to address the chronic absenteeism. And I think we have to work with the students and we have to work with the parents in order to solve that. We have different ethnicities with different religions. So when it comes to holidays and holy days and things of that nature, I think that plays a part into the absences or the missed days. We have 8,900 students have missed more than 18 days of school. So I think if we address that, that will help with the literacy rates and that will help with the graduation rates. Outside of that, I also want to address the schools. I think we have to address the safety and security. We have schools that are over 20 schools that are over 100 years old, and we all witnessed what happened this summer with the pipes at Hinchcliffe Stadium. So I think we have to be proactive and not reactive when it comes to the safety of our children and our teachers in these schools, because these schools have issues from asbestos to mold to lead to hazardous fumes to being too cold in the wintertime and too hot in the summertime. So with all these different factors and all these different challenges that our students are facing, it's kind of hard to get to the technicalities as far as scores when they're not being fed or taken care of with the proper resources and support they need. So those are the two biggest things I would want to address as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Small. Ms. Cameo Black, your closing remarks. What are the priorities and issues that drive your candidacy? You have 2 minutes.
Also, I have a district service with the lunch that you know, students that's still home and ask them for extra food and they may not be able to provide them with students on the college. That's one of my biggest concerns. So a lot of this money that's being wasted can be going to this other things. And it's just a lot of stuff that needs to be looked into because the stuff that we love those are my biggest concerns. And to piggyback off of what you said with the sergeant, like I said, when you go out in the community, and you speak with kids, it's a lot. And if you sit down and you communicate with the kids, you understand why a lot of kids don't come to you, they're being beat up, they're being harassed, they're being targeted. It's just a lot. And as a parent that went to every good education meeting until I was there, I can contest my kid being one of those. So when you speak to the kids, ask them why they're targeted. Some kids go to school and they can't think they're in school and they're not in school because they're scared of the teacher. So it's a lot of bullying. That's the downside with the education system. I was there from 9:30 and I left there 2:30 yesterday afternoon. So I was there. Find out how many parents came in filling out papers because they keep on the board. So it's a homeowner problem. Like I said, the kids can't see the superintendent to back out. It's a lot that we have to work on. Asking God to support me and vote for me because I'm going to.
Thank you, Ms. Black. Mr. Alexander Mendez, your closing statements, and you have 2 minutes to answer what issues or priorities drive your candidacy. You have 2 minutes. Thank you.
All right. Well, once again, my name is Alex Mendez Jr. As I run for the board, I think that I've had several concerns from parents in regards to their primary concerns for the school. One of my concerns would probably be transparency. So I want to ensure that the parents know about the changes that are going on in the school system. I think that it's very imperative. We had the middle school program that's set to be in this end stage in fall of 2027. However, we've had many reports of parents, both personally and in the paper, that said that parents have felt blindsided. They felt as though the change was very abrupt. And, they had logistical issues with siblings getting separated between middle schools and elementary schools. And so we want to mitigate that for the future. We also want to advocate. So advocacy is huge. We want to advocate for all students who feel like they're falling through the cracks, students on IEPs, because their dynamic of education is should be very individualized and catered to their own personal needs. ESL students, we're a city of over 160,000 people, and 44% of our population is foreign born. And so many people come here not speaking the language, and we need to ensure that our language models are up to date and ensuring that by the time the child graduates high school, that they have a proficient command of the English language to be able to excel within society. One of my last, but of many, is accountability. So accountability on the board. I hope to see you all as parents, as concerned citizens at the board meetings, ensuring that we're held accountable and the superintendent's held accountable. and we need to hear your voice. We need to hear your perspectives. And yeah, I look forward to serving you all. My name is Alex Mendez Jr. I am 2E on the ballot. With my little bit of time left, I wanted to thank the Paterson Education Fund as well as the PTO. Thank you so much for platforming us and having us. It is greatly appreciated. 2E on the ballot. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, and as you have heard, that concludes our candidate forum. I'd like to say thank you. Thank you to the PTO leadership for hosting, as well as the Paterson Education Fund for doing this amazing forum. I am Dr. Melissa Barral. This is G.E. Soriano. And I want to say, what do we do it for? Our kids. Big shout out to my kids, Liam and Milan, who are at home watching. We are excited. We are all vested in this. We are all in here together. And I want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you kindly, Miss Rosie.
Thank you. Let's hear it for our moderators. You were fantastic. The PTO has bags for all the parents who attended, so please take one before you leave. Thank you again for coming out, and thank you to all our partners and all our candidates. Good luck to you all. I am Rosie Grant.
I am Rosie Pena.
And we, the Rosies, would like to encourage everyone to vote for our children's future. Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone. Until the next one.